Okay. The economy, the poors.
The poor
How are
poors.
we doing on that? How's Jerome Powell? Isn't it Trump appointee, Republican? Jerome Powell. How's he doing for us? Let's see.
Let's look.
Let's see. Oh yeah, everyone should put on readers because this is the income needs for a family to live comfortably in the U.S. And the lowest is Mississippi, $178,000. And I need to see the fine print, which means I'm probably going to have to find this image in my drafts and open it bigger because I can't see what the bottom says.
Yeah,
but it is your budget allocated 50% of your earnings to necessities, 30% to discretionary spending, and 20% to savings. Are you kidding? Savings? Who has savings?
And meanwhile, in reality, 60% of people's income is going to rent these days.
Yeah. So
and
that's
California, 277,000 for a family to exist, like comfortably. I mean, but like that's comfortably. How about uncomfortably?
Yeah.
It takes $150,000 a year to live uncomfortably in California.
I mean, I actually think it was 160, and that's not counting the 20% for savings, which who does that? I mean, if being comfortable means putting aside savings, which I would love to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is Gen Z is getting hit the hardest. Another new study from a credit agency. I mean, but think about it. There's more debt. You're priced out of the housing market. Your rent is off the charts because there's a rental shortage, a housing shortage. The less money you make, the more you're impacted by grocery store prices or gas prices or, all the things that are out of control.
Yeah.
You're more impacted. And
if you have debt, which most of us do, it compounds, right? So like, you're basically paying an extra tax on everything you buy because you're paying interest on everything you buy to be in that debt. So like, as our credit card debt keeps rising, which it is, we're just like in that cycle more and more. And so we're constantly getting that alert, like, oh, you've hit your limit. So then you quickly try to like change things, put some money on there, a little bit of breathing room, and then you're right again there because of the interest compounding. So like people who have the money don't pay extra tax on what they buy. They buy exactly what it is for the price that's listed.
Right. And I mean, the poorest people who are just really, truly one mishap away from being homeless, like all these issues compound for them once they hit that point. Like, okay, suddenly they can't afford a $500 bill. Now they have no way out and they get evicted. Yep. Well, once they're evicted, what's your opportunity? So you start paying for hotels by the week or something like that, which is going to add up to way more than your rent while you're trying to unbury yourself from all this situation.
Yep. And then you owe nothing. You come away with that with nothing. It's kind of thrown out money.
Right. Or, your car breaks down, you lose your job, then you can't pay your bill. But that spiral is so common now. It's just accepted. And when you look around and you see the homeless problem, it's just accepted now. Like,
yeah. And they're blamed. I mean,
we're told our economy is great while this is all happening. And it's really who's doing good with the economy versus everybody else. Yep. Who may not even know yet how bad they're doing, but they will soon if they have a medical situation or, like I said, something caused you a $500 bill you can't afford.
Yeah.
And kids, they're surviving on the safety net of their parents who built a little bit of wealth. But if you're not lucky enough to have the parents with that little bit of wealth, that safety net is so small compared to, people that may not be you and me and, who we're around. They're, like in a different world, I could be homeless. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God.
Had to be bailed out by my parents in
100%. I mean, Josh and I are so lucky because we have definitely gotten loans and gifts from both of our parents many times, both of our sets of parents over the years. And even that, I mean, it all feels bad. Like living in economic insecurity is awful, even when I know that no matter what, I will not be homeless because, worst comes to worst, we would go live with our parents. But that still feels awful, but I can't even imagine not having at least that. And so many, millions of people don't even have that. Yeah.
So just to shit on kids some more.
Yeah.
Joy
Oh my
Behar,
God.
always shitting on kids,
awful.
youngsters.
Favorite
But
pastime.
the nice thing is this was actually an article saying she's wrong. It may be the boomers who are stopping them from getting ahead. And it is because they have the rental and the housing market locked down.
Yeah.
And kids are just locked out of it, period.
Yeah. And it especially got bad over at the beginning of COVID when nobody had money and Blackstone came in and other corporations like that and bought up all of these single family homes, which there should be a law against that. Jerome Powell raising interest rates, right?
Immediately be pushed by all Democrats. It's get housing back to no corporations own housing. This is
100%.
If you're an ally as a Democrat, if you make the case to the public, the public will believe this. They don't care about these the public, even your shitty normie Dems, they don't want these BlackRock owning all this shit. They don't see
even Republicans. That's a popular idea when it's presented to Republicans, to Republican voters. Yeah. Most people do not want to be priced out of housing by Blackstone or BlackRock or whatever the hell, all of the Vanguard. That makes sense to everybody.
If you name this problem and look at connect it to the homelessness and just say it's a simple cost of housing issue on a lot of levels, we will get rid of a lot of these things that are eyesores to you, but are lives for these people. But you won't have to see them, at least if you just get these corporations out of this shit.
Yep. It reminds me of the swimming pool problem because of the way it's phrased. And it feels like in the 50s during the civil rights movement and 60s when they were finally starting to allow Black families to come to the public pools.
Oh, I heard Biden on this one.
And the white families were like, just close down the pool. We'd rather not have a public pool for all of us than allow Black people to be in the pool with us. So,
well, that's where Biden was the ally. And, he fought Corn Pop. Remember
his hairy legs? They would how the Black children would play with his legs, hairs or something.
We need to pull that cartoon on that. I love that.
Oh, I know, except I think it was like some right winger who did that.
I don't care
because I posted it and then I got dragged by a lot of people. But anyway, I agree. I liked it. Okay, and yes, we all know it's all rigged. It is greedflation, big oil, other corporate collusion driving high prices. We know that. High price of oil from 2021 to 2023 was due to collusion among oil corporations, emails, text messages between Pioneer Resources CEO Scott Sheffield and an OPEC official. The oil industry surged from a likely loss in 2020 to more than $238 billion in profits in 2021, $451 billion in profits the following year.
Just a big scam on the American public.
This price fixing scheme cost Americans between $500 and $1,000 per person and between $2,000 and $4,000 a year for a family of four in 2021. Price fixing, they are all colluding. It's just
I was watching the actual boring ass hearings on this and
C-SPAN, baby.
Oh my God, I need a life. But
you go from NPR to C-SPAN.
Honestly, it's like, look, I think they were asking, the ask was for like $30 million to regulate this industry that is ripping off the country like 60 trillion or something stupid. That's a made up number. But the cost of regulating some of this versus the outright admitted theft by these groups.
Yep.
It's only corporate capture that prevents us from regulating this. Like, that's it. It's just greed. It's these guys are getting handouts behind the scenes and they're getting their campaigns funded by oil and every industry that's fucking us over is funded by them. So this is Biden ran on eliminating student debt. And here we are. Education Department announces the highest federal student loan interest rate in more than a decade. Like that's where we're at right now.
Why is Jerome Powell still the head of the Fed. What, like, it wasn't he a Trump appointee? Am I wrong about that? He and DeJoy?
Yeah, I think he
Like,
was.
what happens when Democrats come into power? Anything? Nothing. It's impossible to get anything done because Republicans always stand in the way.
Right. So if this bothers you, if this, you were taught by Democrats last election cycle that student loan rates are through the roofs and it's fucking kids and the next generation, and Biden's going to do something about it. And
Next
so
time.
we're literally
Finish the
raising
job.
rates, and he's going to run on in
I'm
2024
gonna finish the
doing
job.
something about what his own administration just did to raise the rates.
I know we're going to get to 2024 in a few minutes, but like, I don't know if finish the job is the correct motto for this campaign, because I'll tell you, the job
It's
they're
a little
doing
rapey,
is like,
too. I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie.
Ugh, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's totally right. Do we have any videos on economy, or are we? Oh, we do have a little good news in the economy. A couple things. One, I don't know what the climate defiance thing is. Is that a good thing? I didn't look at it yet.
Yeah. They actually,
Okay.
this is a good
Okay.
GoFundMe. So these guys, are raising hell. They're interrupting every public opportunity they have to get in front of a board or a politician and make them leave. And they're very effective at ending the entire shit show and pressuring them. So they put out a GoFundMe for the first time. I'm sure they're over 100,000. This was a couple hours ago.
Yeah. No, they've been fantastic with, I mean, that's him, one of the guys with Joe Manchin. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's the one who said, "You sick fuck." So, I mean, that alone, that's 100,000.
That's worth $100,000. Yeah. And
I know
with
my $277,000 I have to raise a family in my state. I have $100,000 just sitting around to give these guys, but give them money if you got a couple bucks.
Yeah, no, they've been really good at disrupting, and it's hard because, God, there's so much going on. I know we talk about this all the time, but like, the thing that first kind of radicalized me, they're great. And we had on, oh gosh, now I'm not going to be able to remember her name, but she was fantastic when we had her on, and they've just continued. One of the activists from that group. They have a lot of energy. It's hard to keep it going in the face of oppressing genocide, right? Like, it feels like, oh, does anybody even want? So I'm really proud of them and encouraged by them that they continue this work in spite of other things that feel like more pressing immediately.
And not to be a downer, but to be a complete story person. And we should have her back on because, she was a little bit like, well, you still got to vote for Biden. Right. She had a little bit of that in her. Yeah. And, they did meet with Biden, but I'm not going to fault anyone for having a meeting with Biden.
Yeah.
The important part is they had the meeting, gave him a little praise over having the meeting, and then went back to telling Joe Manchin he's a sick fuck. So, their heart's in the right place. I would hope we could have her on and her say, "No, I'm not voting for Biden."
I would too. It's such a hard line, even just like with all the protests and Biden saying he was going to halt some of the weapons shipments. And I saw, like Norman Finkelstein and David Sirota and some other people giving the protesters props while still saying this isn't nearly enough. But look, it has, AOC, it has value to do that. But on some level, I feel it's really frustrating because obviously it didn't stop anything. Nothing stopped. And so I kind of don't want to, encourage the protesters to continue, but let's not act like actually that we've gotten a morsel of anything, because we haven't even gotten a crumb at all.
Exactly. And that's where any sort of like, well, any sort of apologetic, like it could be worse under the other guy, or he's trying and not doing enough. Like, we need full hardcore call outs on you're failing us. Like,
which, by the way, is what the big lobbyists do, right? The big donors, they're like, we're not giving you money. We'll just give it to Trump. Like, we don't need you. We're leaving. They do that. So like, we need to stop being at all conciliatory. It's over. We hate you. It's over. All right. So that's a good piece of news. Another good piece of news. Yeah. Another piece of good news. Oh.
I'll push it again.
Oh my God. Yeah. Orca. Remember those orcas sinking yachts last year? They're back, baby. They are sinking the yachts. I would love to watch video of that going down. Also, and this is in Argentina, our friend Amazon Piss Jugs, love that handle. General strike brings Argentina to a standstill because of their austerity. Javier Milei's, their new, right-wing fascist president, austerity
Amen.
and deregulation. So those general strikes are pretty fantastic.
I think we need to hashtag organize. That's a new, let's push
Oh,
that. That's
I
catchy.
can't believe you said that out loud before you patented it.
Let's do. I'm selling shirts because I'm a real leftist.
Go Orcas for sure. Yes, Team B. Oh God, you're right, Jessica. I saw that, and now I can't remember. Was it cops?
No, IDF.
Swarming cops.
IDF.
IDF. Okay, well, they're cops, but yeah.